let's see. I want to know all about the retreat queen. I'm just gonna like roll out the red carpet and do, 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 the retreat queen.
And here I am. Well, I appreciate all of that support. It means a lot to me. The Retreat
Yes.
Queen is really a company that I started not all that long ago, just due to my own personal life experiences and the things that I've learned while attending retreats, while in the hopes of planning retreats. And it's a lot of different aspects came into play when making decisions on what I wanted to do and how I wanted it to look and what I wanted my goals to be. And honestly, it was another retreat that I went to that really kind of solidified this is what you need to be doing with your life. And, what I learned there, just being an experience that was more geared towards personal development as well as professional development, was you really can't wait till the time is right. Like, if you feel a burning desire to do something or to be part of something, go for it. And honestly, figure it out as you go and put together the pieces and find what aligns with you. And so the company was born from a lot of different experiences. And that's where I am now.
Nice. And I was reading on your in your bio that it kind of happened because of a chronic illness that led
Yes,
you to start attending retreats, right? Is that
exactly.
how it happened?
That's
Can you tell
exactly
us?
right. It was, I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease, chronic Lyme's, not all that long ago, a few years ago. And I mean, major turning point in my life. It was absolutely going from, one level of energy throughout the day to a whole nother level of energy, one level of pain to a whole other pain. And excuse me, in that journey, I wanted to find just a more holistic approach to what I was doing. It was, I was kind of done with antibiotics after antibiotics and just the nonstop prescriptions. And I thought I need to do myself the favor and look for a more holistic approach. And,
Yeah.
between one doctor's office to another or reading online, doing my own research, I realized that there's so many people who are dealing with chronic illnesses and so many people who are looking for a way to number one, connect with other people who are dealing with that same issue or similar issues, as well as kind of learn from them and learn what their approach to their own journey has been, and just kind of see what you can crowdsource, really, in an organic and holistic method. And then that led me down a rabbit hole to finding wellness retreats and discovering things like meditation and breath work and different ways that I can heal my body from within, or at least heal the symptoms from within. And again, just the sheer connection with other people is really what has been the most inspiring thing for me.
Yeah.
It's been a journey that I don't think I could have ever experienced without that diagnosis. And so I've been, blessed in a way to be able to find this part of my life and have that then inspire me to begin this company and this whole next journey for myself.
Yeah. Was it a tick? Did you get bit by
It,
a tick?
honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea. I got really really sick, one random day, and went to the doctors and they tested me for everything except for Lyme's, and you couldn't figure out what it was, and started immediately with an antibiotic cycle that went on for 3 months,
Wow.
before finally we thought, let's test for Lyme's, and lo and behold, it came back positive for quite a few markers, and never saw the tick, never saw a bullseye, never, no indication whatsoever, and I don't know how long I'd had it in my system before I finally started showing symptoms.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
And so, like, do you feel that attending these retreats, I mean, a lot of times people get conflicted with
Yes.
breath work, meditation, yoga. It's like, oh, that's nice, but where's
Right.
the doctor prescribed medication that's actually going to work? And it's funny that you said at least help with the symptoms,
Absolutely.
because we know that a lot of the times the medicine that we're prescribed it's only to help with the symptoms. It
Right.
doesn't address the root anyway.
Right.
So do you
And
feel like these retreats really helped you to
to learn,
get rid of?
absolutely. I mean, honestly, to say get rid of, there's still so many variables that go into honestly every day. If you get overtired or your immune system starts to get a little on the ragged side, you're prone to a flare up. So nothing is really a cure all, or even slightly just really beginning to cure. However, you find that your episodes between flare ups, or your ability to feel your body and know your body, definitely improves over time. And I think that the tools learned at those retreats that I've gone on, as well as from the people who attended those retreats months and years and weeks after, those connections and that knowledge that was gained is what really lives on. And you
Yeah.
approach, every day with whatever tools you have at hand, and try to figure out what works for this situation, what works for that situation. When you're traveling, it requires a whole new tool belt, really. And I think that without those tools, I kind of would have been just searching in the dark for whatever I could cling on to, instead of real life lived experience by these other folks that I was lucky enough to have met at those retreats.
Yeah. And so I have this book called The Blue Zones, and it's basically, I don't remember how many countries exactly. Maybe there's like 12 or 15 countries, like Costa Rica,
Yes.
Okinawa,
In Italy.
someplace in California,
Yep.
Sardinia. And basically, this is where centennials live, people that live to be
Absolutely.
100 plus. And so, yes, the diet, there's a lot of walking, there's not as much bread
Exactly.
and sugar. But the
Yep.
one thing, and I even saw a documentary on 60 Minutes about people who were active, like in their 90s. They're walking
Right.
around, they're driving cars, and some of them drink alcohol, they drink coffee, they have less than
Yeah.
healthy habits. But why do they keep living? And it's these social connections. It's the social connections that has like such a
Absolutely.
huge effect on us. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And it's something to behold, honestly. Like to read about those things, and then to just feel. I mean, when you get together with the girls and it's a big vent session, and everyone's, we're having dinner or lunch or whatever it is, and just reconnecting with people who kind of get what you're going through. I mean, there's no way to quantify how uplifting something like that is. So I'm not surprised to hear that people who are enjoying, I mean, probably the healthiest food in the world, and enjoying an incredibly healthy physical lifestyle, moderate physical activity all the time, and being able to interact with people that you've known your whole life, or who get you or understand it. I mean, yeah, there's really nothing that compares to that. So I'm not surprised of those blues. I've been to a few of those blue zones myself, and they're incredible places, and incredible people.
Yeah. And at retreats, I mean,
And at retreats,
because
yeah.
not all social connections are made equal, and
Right.
we have people around us that maybe have been friends for a very long time, and then like you say, you go through something and you feel like, okay, cool, but you don't get what I'm going through. you
Right.
don't you don't understand. So then you go to a retreat that's specifically for whatever that thing you're trying to dive deeper into, and then you're
Right.
introduced to a whole another group of people that get you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they want what you want. They're there for the same reason that you're there, and you all have, if not the same, very similar goals. And I mean, to niche down to exactly what you're looking for and find people that are into that same thing, and then have that be in what's usually a beautiful location, healthy, or just plain amazing food, and amazing structured activities and events, and experiences that you can go through together. It's super unique, and very, very special.
Hmm. I agree. So about the retreat queen,
Yes.
I have so many questions, but I saw that you have your website is also a platform where you can list your retreats, but they're
Yes.
curated, right? Like you
Yes.
curate these retreats.
Absolutely. So, just for the sake of it being the only employee of myself, you can sign up, and then what goes on then is I go on the back end and I do all of my research, connect with the hosts, and really get a feel for what the offering is and what the experience really is like. And then I go from there and do the back end. But really, what this whole platform is, I guess, my first venture into retreats. Like, it's my first real attempt at promoting, I guess, promoting the retreat experience and supporting the retreat hosts. 'Cause that is something that you take away from that. The people who are hosting these retreats and these events and these activities, facilitating them. I mean, this is what their passion is. This is what they live for. And the best thing that I can do, since I found so much value in their experience, is support them any way I can. And from a marketing perspective, that's really where my strengths are, and connection, and being able to say, hey, I loved this and I really think that you will too. And to be able to support, maybe not every retreat is my cup of tea, but there's someone out there who's going to want to learn from these hosts and these facilitators the way that I have from the ones that made a difference in my life. And I can't deny that to anyone. I want the full experience. I want everyone to be able to find what fulfills them and what elevates their life or their journey or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I
Thank you.
love that. So is your background in marketing?
Not necessarily. It's actually hospitality. And
Oh,
then,
that's
yeah,
good.
it is. But in hospitality, you're coming across people from every walk of life. They're with you at that location for whatever their reasons might be. And it all comes down to building that connection and understand
Hmm.
that, hey, we're kind of all here to have a good time and enjoy ourselves or relax or whatever it might be. And in my experience, the people that I'm mostly interacting with in the retreat space and in the retreat industry are people who want to teach and want to learn whatever the topic might be, whether it's culinary retreats or adventure retreats or wellness based retreats. They're here to teach and they're here to learn. And that's what really, connects with me. And being the person who's, wanting to talk to everyone I ever meet. Marketing is kind of one of my strengths.
That's great. That's what most retreat leaders have, where they have challenges. They're
Yes.
challenged in the marketing area, or they
Yes.
just don't want to. Like, maybe, yeah, I know how to do it. I can do it. I don't want to do
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. And if your experience, if your expertise is, let's say, breath work again, I mean, please focus on that. Focus on what you love to do and what feeds your soul. And let me do this part. I'll take care of that. Don't even worry about it. We're going to get your retreat sold. We're going to make sure that all of the spots are taken, or as many as we can in the time frame that we have. And that's my way of supporting your mission and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks.
So, oh, I just had the question and it flew
Oh
away. Come
no.
back, come back, come back. Oh, how do you curate them? Like, are these retreats that you personally have experienced, or people can apply and then you decide? Like, is there a certain type of retreat?
So for me, I wish that I had the means and the time to go to all of these retreats, but this is mostly a one-on-one, my own research, as well as talking to the retreat hosts and getting testimonials from them for past experiences that they've held, researching the location, things like that. And because I'm, again, the only employee, it's really easy for me to connect on a personal level with whatever information I have in front of me. And then with the travelers who are coming to the platform, once they purchase a spot, it's not just automatically you're in. It starts a process where I'm vetting them, but I'm also sending them, forwarding their information to the retreat host. They check to make sure that they're all in alignment, and then we sign, done and delivered pretty much from there. And you guys take over from there. I would love to hear how it was. I would love to see some pictures. I would love to come if I can.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
really it.
I've been interviewing some amazing people on this channel, and every time I'm like, I want to go to your retreat. I want to go to your retreat. I want to go to your. I want to go. Like, I have like 20 retreats I have to go to now.
Exactly, exactly. Well, honestly, that's why I this networking event that's coming up, the Retreat Queens
Yay!
virtual retreat summit. So that was kind of born from that idea. I was like, okay, from a marketing perspective and starting my blog and trying to start the YouTube channel, what do I want? Like, how do I want to get there? And it was, okay, I want to go to some retreats, absolutely. And then these retreat Facebook groups that I'm on, they're awesome. I mean, there's so many. There are thousands and thousands of hosts and venues and all of these things going on. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to be able to narrow down what it is that I'm looking for. And I thought, okay, my mission is to promote retreats, promote the very idea of retreats, and promote retreat hosts and what they're hoping to do, and the facilitators. And what I, why not set up an event where we can all meet, have an opportunity for collaboration where, hey, there's this venue here from Sardinia, and see if we, if they're fit for what you'd like to do in the future, and connect a little, chat as much as you can, and then, hey, well, let's touch base after the event. Let's exchange information. And what I decided to do from that point was, out of the folks who are coming to this first event, I'll have them submit what retreats they've got going on, and then whatever makes the most sense logistically and financially, and just with the it lines up with the experiences that I'd like to experience. I'll be picking from those to go to in 2025, and put on my blog, my YouTube channel, write up articles on them, whatever kind of fits. It's in alignment for what I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that feels very aligned with what we're doing as far as like just wanting to make retreats a lifestyle, like
Absolutely.
be with retreat people, talk about
Yep.
retreat things, go to the
Yep.
retreats and
Exactly. And the
and make
retreat
the
space,
make
and yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're going to agree with this 100%. It's the most like uplifting group of people, supportive group of people
yeah.
I think you're ever going to find. And there's got to be more that we can do, just kind of as a community, and as a like build ourselves into like one huge industry that's just going to
Yeah.
take over the world of travel, and the world of
Yes.
holistic healthcare, and the world of adventure and spirituality and culinary experiences.
Oh my God, yes, you're making my hair stand up. I've been like, my dream is to just make the world a retreat and make life a
Yes.
retreat because I think this is not an alternate reality. Or, when they say uh, you work in the city and then visit nature on the weekends, or you flip it, you
Yes.
work and you live in nature and then you can
Yes.
visit the city. It's a very different way
Exactly.
of living.
Exactly. And that's kind of the reason why I also wanted to build an online platform where I can work from anywhere. I can, go visit my loved ones, or go on a retreat, or go wherever I need to be and want to be, and be in nature and be in the experiences I want to have, and still have, the website is available for travelers to use. The website is available for hosts to use, and just be kind of be able to have it all. Really is what I really
Hmm.
want to be able to just be doing the things that I love to do, while still feeling fulfilled and contributing in the way that I can contribute.
Yeah, definitely. And your summit is coming up, right?
The summit is coming up. It's November 16th, and that's 11 a.m. To 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm in Central at the moment, so 10 a.m. And it's completely online, so you can join in from anywhere in the world, and you should be able to, jump in and jump out depending on what your day brings. You don't have to commit, the full time to being there. We'll have two guest speakers who are also all about the retreat world, and all about just making sure that they're promoting how to get into this industry, and best practices, and what you think we think you might face as far as challenges goes, or things that may come up, and excuse me, and just being available, being, I'm somebody who likes to, I want to kneel at the feet of people who know what they're doing, and learn what I can from people who know what they're doing. And I'm really hoping that this summit is a congregation of people who want to learn and want to teach, and want to just, build connections that last a long time, as I hope yours and mine last a long time.
Yeah. I agree with you. This community, I mean, just the retreat space is it's such a different ball game. Like everybody
Mhm.
is open, friendly, wanting
Absolutely.
to collaborate. Like you say,
Yep.
it's like when we find each other, instead of being like, oh, like maybe instead it's more like, oh,
Mhm.
how can we like come together? Oh, how do we make this work? Oh, I'm going to introduce you to this
Absolutely.
person. And it's just, you see, I was talking about it with Jilly. She's on one of these interviews. She's in Greece. Amazing, by
Oh,
the
very
way. I
nice.
recommend. She does retreats in Greece.
I would love to
Um,
see Grace.
yeah, but just like this branching out from all directions, and
Yep.
just makes things spread a lot. easier and
Absolutely.
faster.
And again, just it's it's a way to, instead of having hundreds of thousands of people you'd like to connect with and not sure how you're going to, we're all going to be in the same virtual room for a good part of the day and just really hanging out and learning from each other and seeing what everyone has to offer, and seeing where we can go from there. And if a retreat isn't born from this summit, um, that's fine. We're all still making the connections, and I'm confident that either a friend of a friend who came will say, "Oh, I was speaking with the owner of this venue, and this is what they can offer. Is that something you'd be able to work with?" And ideally, a retreat is born from that, or the owner of
Mm-hmm.
this. Um, the private chef who makes this type of food is exactly the type of food that you've been telling me you love all the time. Come and work with them.
Yeah, bringing people together
That's
to
right.
let the magic happen. So, why do you think that 2025 is the year of the retreat?
I feel like this past year and the past few years, at least post COVID and during COVID, I really feel like the world has changed in, kind of an extreme way, quickly and just very noticeably. We've all noticed that stress levels are through the roof, chronic illness levels are through the roof, just lack of connection and
Yeah.
apathy for our fellow man is just rampant these days, unfortunately. And I think that there's a large majority of people who want to step back from all of that and really focus on
Mm-hmm.
the inner work, really focus on, their contribution to the world, and really focus on their connection with other people. And I think
Yes.
that, solo travel is awesome. I'm a big solo traveler myself, whatever it takes to go see new experiences. But there is nothing like experiencing something for the first time with other people that are experiencing it for the first time. And like you said, people who are they specifically searched for that experience just like you did. That's your niche, and that's what you guys are here for. And it's a different type of travel than I think has really been popular in the past.
Yeah, for sure. I was chatting with my good friend Barb, aka ChatGPT. I call her Barb. And you gotta give her a name, right? And of
Absolutely.
course, oh yeah, I was asking her like, how big is the retreat industry? Like, how many people make up the retreat industry? And she grabbed this from a few different websites that just this year,
Right.
which is basically almost over, it's projected to reach $225.89 billion dollars,
Right. Isn't
with
that nuts?
expected growth at a compound annual rate of 10% through the decade.
Yeah. Wow. And
So
it's
it's
people
on the
like us.
rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all that you said, like especially in a world where AI is the new, we have to do less tech because AI
Right.
can do more of it. So we're
Right.
just kind of sitting around going like, okay, well, what do we do? Let's go on a
Yeah.
retreat.
I'll get into planting. I'll get into yeah, get back into nature and get back into connection with other people. Now we've kind of
Exactly.
got more time to do it, and there's a lot more will desire to do it. And Chat GPT is not wrong. It's an industry that is growing at such a rate that it's going to be impossible to ignore. It's going to be impossible to not hear the word retreat in maybe not everyday conversation, but oh, I took off work next week, I'm going on a retreat. Or I took off, you're not going to hear I'm going on vacation. You're going to hear I'm going on a retreat more often than you are now. And I think that's wonderful. And I think that, the people who this is their whole reason for being, it's a manifestation that's coming to life, that this you can make a way of life out of traveling and doing what's good for your body and doing what's nourishing for your soul, and not need to be necessarily in the corporate world unless that's something that you're seeking out. And just a lot more options, I think, for all of us than there were before.
And so back to your marketplace. So you can list a retreat on your marketplace, and then you
Yes.
also have this summit. Is it like a
Yes.
yearly summit, or how often does it happen?
This is my first one ever. My first try
Oh,
at this, and I would love for
congratulations.
yeah, I would love for this to be. I mean, if we could do this every month, we can do this every month. I would love that. The goal is to. I'm keeping it small for now because again, just me, and I'm just kind of doing what I can, what I think I can handle in this moment. And I'd like the next few to be as small and intimate, and just us connecting. But the goal is for there to be a yearly large summit, whether that's virtual or in person, really depends on budget and where we're going from, or how we've grown, I should say,
Yeah.
throughout this next year. But yeah, if the amount of support is more than I can fit in one room in one day, I would love to do a monthly summit. I did add a second date. January 11th is the second date. And then I'm also looking at doing one that's on at an easier time frame for those on the other side of the world. I've got a lot of interest in Australia and New Zealand, and unfortunately, this is the middle of the night for them. So I
Yeah.
would want to make sure that they're able to take part as well. I mean, there's definitely way more to come as far as the summit goes. We're going to keep it virtual for now. Once there is that if people come together and they really support what I'm doing, which I would love, and want to be able to help me to plan an in-person summit, like, hey guys, we're in this for the community, right? Like, why not, let's get together and let's make a weekend out of it, or let's make a trip out of it. This is, like I said, my version of a retreat. This is what, financially and logistically I'm able to do at this point in the business and in this point in my life. And I would like to take this into the real world and really get us all together. And I joke that it's like our queendom, like our retreat
Yeah.
queendom.
So is this only for ladies?
No, 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 not at all. It's just that I consider myself the queen. So if I ever
Okay.
pass the torch to someone who would consider themselves a king, then it would be a kingdom. But
Okay. All right.
yeah,
That's cool. I love that. I love that
thank
idea
you.
of just doing it. Even if you just do it yearly, it
Yeah,
sounds like something, there's something there. Yeah. I think
I
it's going
think
to be
so.
good.
I think so.
Yeah.
And we start small and we grow as a community. And as the brand gets more support and people learn about it, I'm really confident that this is something that's going to align with a lot of people, because I find that the conversations that I'm having, like the conversation with you and the connections that I'm making, people really are supportive of what I'm doing, and it brings me so much fulfillment. I can't even tell you.
Yeah. And you're doing it all by yourself. That's
Put it all
amazing.
myself. It's a labor of love, but I mean, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, and I am putting my all into it. Working to support it, and I'm not going to stop. So
Good. So that's what it takes.
that's
You're going to
right.
get it. It's only a
That's
matter
right.
of when, not
Exactly.
if.
Exactly.
So, what other services do you offer at the Retreat Queen?
Yeah. At the moment, it's the retreat listing as the marketing. Retreat hosts, please email me if you want to email me pictures or videos or whatever marketing tools you'd like me to use. I also do social media marketing, and as well as getting into sort of making a virtual platform for connections. So we'll have a listing of venues and a listing of hosts and a listing of facilitators. I'm sorry, a listing of people who'd like to volunteer for retreats, and you should be able to connect with each other there. Give each other your contact information, and again, just collaborate as much as possible. Come to the events and collaborate with all of us and hang out with all of us, or do it amongst yourselves, whatever it takes to really just make sure this industry thrives and doesn't run out of these amazing experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay. I'm looking at the questions now
yeah, not a
because
problem.
we're on a roll, and now I'm like, all right, where do we go from here? Um, all right, we asked all of those. Oh, you have a course, the
Yeah,
downloadable course, planning
I
a sold
do.
out retreat.
Yeah. Now I try to make it affordable. I try to make it to, where if you're just really getting started, and it really is, it's a beginner friendly. Hey, I don't even know what to do, and Google is driving me crazy with all the rabbit holes I'm falling into. Don't worry. Take a look at this. It's going to organize and kind of outline your thoughts for you. And treat it somewhat like a checklist. This is where I would start. This is what I would go into next. This is a challenge you might face. And there's also an opportunity for, if you need resources, if you need to know where to go to find this information, or where to go to find that type of insurance, or what questions to even ask, there's options in there as well to, explore that. And it really just comes down to helping people to get out of the idea that they can't host a retreat, they don't know what they're doing. And it comes from a personal place, because that's where I was prior to starting the brand and starting this company. It was, how am I going to do this all by myself? And I don't know how I'm going to, afford this, or how I'm going to plan that, or where am I going to find the people that are just interested in this. And then I went on retreats myself, and I learned, I mean, honestly, if you've got the desire and you've got the will and determination, you can make it happen. Here's some help, you know, here's what I can do to help you. And then once you've put together what you think you need to know, and come to the event and meet the people that can help you make it happen, and then come put it on my website and I'll help you sell it. And I think it's a, beginning to end sort of, I don't know how else to support a majority or a lot of people all at once, and this is my attempt to do that. So if anything, whatever I can do to help, you let me know.
I think it's great. I love
Thank
it.
you.
So what are some challenges that you've seen that people face?
In the retreat industry, honestly, it's like you said, the marketing is, it's so hard to come across and be, or be perceived as your authentic self, over texting and over, typing and ads and whatnot. And when you're in the midst of planning, when you're in the midst of, probably, I mean, I speak for myself, but working a job to financially support your dreams. If you've got a family that you're spending your time with, if you've got all of these things where, spending the time to learn the marketing, or learn what works, follow the trends, learn what the algorithm wants, blah, 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 blah. If you don't have the time to do that, it could really break your whole endeavor. And that's a challenge that I'd like to fill for you. I'd like to take that off your hands, and be able to really help to support you in that. That, as well as, hey, I want to start a retreat, but I'm not a yoga teacher, or I'm not a breathwork instructor, or I don't have the necessary skills, but I want to be able to experience this with other people. I want to teach people. I mean, I briefly got a taste of whatever this experience was at my last retreat, and I want to be able to bring it to other people. Well, don't worry, come to me, come to the event, meet some folks, and meet some people who are in this industry, and help them to teach you what it is that you need to learn, or what it is that holding you back. There's nothing like lived experience for solving some of these unique challenges. I mean, it's going to be transportation the day of from the airport has all of a sudden, traffic has this. Well, don't worry. This has happened before to me in this country, and this is what I did. And if you're lucky enough to meet that person that's been through it, I think, you're increasing your chances at an event like the Retreat Summit,
Yeah. Have you done a retreat yourself? Have you
Not
hosted a
yet.
retreat?
Not yet. So the retreat
Okay.
summit is my, like, tiptoe into retreats myself. This is something that at this stage in the company, and in this stage in my own journey, I can afford. It's something that I can put my level of, physical energy into. And again, once I have the support, and once I know that, there are those who align with what I'm doing and would be interested in attending something that I host in person, then yes, absolutely. I absolutely intend to host retreats in the future. I intend to host majority of the year, hosting back to back ones. I would love to be able to spend my time just, continuing to help others learning on my own, and whatever that looks like. And then, well into the future, the long term goal would be owning a retreat venue as myself, and being able to work with retreat hosts, like, hey, come in and host your retreat, and we'll do this together, where you're not paying up front. It's we have room for 20 beds and you were able to fill 10, then we work with what that profit margin is for you to have the for the venue. And so that's the long term goal.
That's good. That's my goal
Yeah.
too. I want to have a
Yeah.
retreat space,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
I'm learning that it's hard work,
Absolutely.
a long term plan.
A
Like
long term
over
plan.
there. At
That's
least for
right.
me. At least for me.
I hear you. I mean, and it's so difficult to find affordable properties, especially in areas that are more desirable to go to or whatever it might be. But I have full faith that when the time is right for us, that it's going to fall right into our lap.
Yes, the Queendom, the
That's
Queendom
right.
House, the
That's
Queendom
right.
Palace.
The Queen and Palace. That's right.
So, can you share like maybe one or two stories of people that you've helped through your website to
Yeah,
fill their
absolutely.
retreats?
Absolutely. It's mostly the retreat hosts that I've had this experience with. A number of people have come back to me and said, we loved what we experienced in Italy, but it's always a conversation that they're having in like the height of elation. We just got back. We love it. And it comes down to the tours that they did and the activities that they did. But as far as the hosts are concerned, I mean, it really comes from hearing what their needs are and being able to fill what we can, taking some from not really able to reach anyone to happen to reach the right people. Now that just came with guidance from maybe we adjust the price, maybe we adjust what we're looking at as far as a timeline, or this is just too close to the date for the number of heads, and we make those tough decisions together. Not to I don't want to get into too many specifics just because I do feel like that's personal to them, but you want to make sure that each person and each retreat comes with its own unique challenges that they're going to face. Let's say it's someone like myself who has, I don't want to say physical limitations, but it's you can't always rely on your body to hold up all the time in certain situations. And so, you want to be able to be aware of that. You want to be able to be cognizant of they're not going to be able to communicate all of next week, or they're, in bed or whatever it might be. So, just getting into the specifics is hard. But long story short, I think what I'm saying is it comes down to me being able to help them on a more personalized level rather than some of these bigger companies that, I mean, to be honest, they're doing very similar things. They're listing retreats and people can go on and find their retreats, but that's a big company and you're not talking to a human being when you call them and they're like, oh, you can't host the retreat anymore, or, oh, you want to change the price, well, that's going to be this fee, or that's going to be this, and it's just not the same approach, I think. And in general, the feedback that I've gotten has been, wow, it's really good to talk to somebody who, picked up the phone. I'm like, yeah, you're calling my cell phone, honestly. That's what you're doing, so
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like you said, there's a bunch of websites. You can even list, I mean, you can't list retreats on our site yet, but
right, but it can come.
we all do it in different ways.
Yes,
And then you find the people that vibe with the way you're doing it. And honestly, I think if you're leading a retreat, back when I was doing it, I put my retreat on all of them. I put it
absolutely.
everywhere on all
Absolutely,
the
because it's
things.
like, yeah, whoever helps you get people, heads in beds, as they say,
Yeah.
then great. Whoever helps to put as many retreats out onto like, hey guys, these are all available now, instead of just being in somebody's, they're telling people in town or their word of mouth marketing it. It's like whatever it takes to get all of those retreats listed so that there's somebody looking for that exact experience.
Yeah. And then maybe you get like two from here, one from there, three from here. And that's how
Yeah,
you fill the whole thing. And everyone's
exactly.
helping you, essentially.
Exactly. And that way you're not missing people from, people who would not have come across that particular website or that particular, you know, and I just want to be part of it. There's no lofty goals of like running the whole industry. There is just, hey, I'm doing what I can for you. You're doing what you can to support me. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was talking with somebody I think they were a retreat venue. And I was like, yeah, have you thought about listing your place on book retreats? And they were like, what's that? And I was
Yeah.
like, what do you mean, what's that? Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
guess not,
Because you
you
just
know?
never know. I mean, some people just may not have come across it, and that's totally fine. Again, we're all here to educate. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
Hmm.
Okay, so can we talk about your blog?
Yeah,
Like how the
absolutely.
blog influences the marketing that you do? Like is it more your personal journey and experience through these retreats?
It started off that way, and I learned very quickly that I am not a writer. I can
Oh.
try, and it's great, and I enjoy it, but I don't think that I convey. I prefer to speak and hang out and talk, and so what I've actually done with the blog these days, it started off with my own stories and my own experiences and my own take on what I experienced, and now I've actually opened the blog to guest posting. So if you'd
Mm.
like to, and I'm open to regular contributions, I'm open to one-off, I'm open to whatever you want, and again, all in the name of promoting the retreats that are out there or that are coming into fruition. And so, Krystal, if you'd like to submit a post for the blog, if you'd like to submit a post for the blog every week, that's fine. And you can add your links, you can add your social media handles, and feel free. Send me you just email me, the article or whatever the blog and the pictures you'd like to use, and give me a little information on what you want me to do with it. Like, hey, can you make sure that it's all in all caps or whatever whatever it is that you want. And yeah, and I just provide the blog right now is really just providing a platform for people to kind of just get their voice out there. And that's really that.
That's great too. It's like
Yeah.
Retreat Queen meets Yoga Journal or Elephant Journal, more
Yeah.
inclusive, not just yoga. Okay. Well, I think we've gone through all of them.
All right.
So now we get to the good stuff, or like the good
Yeah.
stuff. We said a lot of good stuff, but do you have any, based on your experience and
Mhm.
the people that you work with, things that you've seen, what advice would you give to those who are hosting retreats or even people who have venues?
As far as getting into the retreat space, or you're already in it, you're in the thick of it and wanting to, figure out what to do.
You're, oh, that's tough. You threw me a curveball.
Oh no. Just because my advice would be different to them depending on their phase, what phase they're in it.
What do you feel called to answer more?
Well, honestly, I can do both, because the advice that I would give to people who are thinking about it is, honestly, go for it. Just go for it. I mean, it being having that fear is something I totally understand. Not knowing how you're going to make it happen or how you're going to afford it is something I totally understand. And honestly, one of like the very long-term goal for all of this is, I mean, and that includes whatever income is made from the platform, the event, hopefully the venue in the future, is to be able to help finance retreat hosts and retreat venues that are thinking about getting into it, and trying to do that in a way that is not as, I hate to say predatory, as like business loans at the moment, or
Oh,
charging interest. Whether you make a profit on what you're making or not, you still owe them, and you still owe them interest. I'd like to be able to help finance, and you can pay me back, and a percentage of what your profit margin is, and be able to like support in that way. Or, hey, we're $2,000 short of paying the venue, and we have 3 months left. The venue needs to be paid 3 months out, and I still haven't filled these seats. What can we do? And I'd like to be able to have the capital and the financial means to be able to work with people on that. Obviously, I don't know how that's way in the future for us, but I really want to be able to help people to get started, I think, is the best way to say that. um, and then those that are in the thick of it, the ones who are, hey, we're right in the middle of it, and we just don't know what to do next. And my advice to them would be, kneel at the feet of those that do. I mean, the speakers coming to this event have been planning retreats for decades. And And there are many people like that out there. These two happen to be very accessible because you just show up on the 16th and they'll be available to connect. Um, and they also provide retreat planning services. I mean, they can take whatever you think you can't handle off your hands and help you, or you let them know what your challenges are, or you let them know what your goals are, and you can help, help to build or help to grow or help to plan, whatever that might be. And I think my biggest advice is don't be afraid to ask for help. Go and look for it. Come to places where we're all getting together to do just that and feel at home doing that.
Especially since retreat people are so friendly, right?
Right?
Can you name drop like who your speakers are for the
Oh
event?
yes. So James Yates is one of my speakers. He's in Australia, so he's going to be joining us from the middle of the night, pretty much.
Oh,
Right?
that's
And he's
awesome.
definitely one who is. I mean, he's clean eating, clean lifestyle. He's one that and he'll talk more about this at the event, where retreats have changed his life for the better and changed his family's lives for the better. And he's all about promoting it. He's all about collaboration. He is really in it to say, oh, hey, I just met you today, let's see what we can do together, let's see what I can help you with, what you can help me with. And then Allison Kutowski, I always catch when I try to say her last name, Kutowski. She's in it as well, and she's going to be, she's been in the retreat industry for, again, decades, and they're both just so full of knowledge, and it's such a unique perspective for both of them, coming from either sides of the world, coming from different lived experience. And they're here for, they'll give their speech, and then they'll give their they'll be there for question and answers. And I mean, they're prepared to handle the hard questions, and they're prepared to just say, okay, well, this is as far as I know what you should do or what you can do, or what this, provide some insights and allow for, I guess, talking points to be brought up. Like, hey, Allison
Mm-hmm.
said this, what are your thoughts on that? Did this work for anyone else? James has invited me to take part in this course that he's teaching, or take part in this retreat that he's hosting. Is anybody else interested in going with me? You want to share a room? Whatever that kind of looks like. And looking forward to it, honestly. I'm just looking forward to just being in that room with a lot of knowledge and a lot of people who are just in it for the good vibes, and what the future may bring. And that's really what I'm excited for.
And it sounds like a really good time.
Thank you.
Also, when you mentioned James, I was like, "Hey, I just
Yeah.
met you."
Yeah,
Kind of
see.
the song just popped into my head, and I think that you might also be onto something with the like retreat VC. Like a
Yeah,
venture capitalist for
I'd love to
retreats.
make it
That's
happen.
interesting.
Isn't it? And it's a thought that like came to me when I thought, because I, to start this company, I'd been working two jobs, and that was to be able to pay for the website development. And it's not perfect, it's not exactly where I'd like it to be, but as finances come in and as support comes in, I'm growing and building. And as more knowledge comes in, or as those come into my life who are like, hey, what could improve things if you did it this way? And I thought, oh, that sounds like a sound plan. um, and it I would like to make sure that those that have, I guess, a similar drive for what they want, whatever it might be, whether it's work related, personal related, whatever it might be, those people deserve to feel supported. And I don't know what I can do at this stage, still working full time, to be able to put these events together and be able to put the business together. But in the future, I mean, I'd like to give back, because anything that I have that's available to be invested would come from the success of the Retreat Queen as a company and as a brand. And it would only be right if I'm able to put that right back into the retreat world in a way that I can make sure it's feasible. you know
And for you to make money too, doing it.
for me to make a living, really, is what it is. I want to be able to support my family. I want to be able to support my health journey, because everyone knows, I mean, it's getting more and more expensive every minute these days. And it's just it's something near and dear to my heart to be able to be financially secure and live financially secure, as well as being able to take part in the experiences that I want to take part in, and then making sure that the people that support me also are able to do those things, and don't have to be in fear of, what am I going to do if this, if I, the due date is tomorrow and I can't get, I still have 4 months out, and we're really working hard on getting the marketing, and, whatever might come up, I want to be able
Yeah,
to help.
that's really lovely. And I think what you're
Thank you.
doing is amazing, and that you're doing it on your own is commendable. And just
Thank you.
like the intention that you have behind it, it's clear that you're already helping a lot of people.
Thank you. That means a
So
lot to
yeah,
me.
you
It
should
really
feel
does.
proud. And
Thank
I love
you.
the name, the Retreat Queen. I was like,
Thank you.
such a good name. Yes, I love it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Zaina. So do you have a question for the retreat gods? If there
Well,
was if
yeah,
there was the retreat
absolutely.
gods.
I mean, my question is really just open ended. It's, if you have a way for us to connect, and that's you and me, and everyone who's listening, and anyone who might be interested in hearing more about what the Retreat Queen is about, and how we can help you, and how I can, really connect with you, please let me know. Please, if you have a way of, like, to the retreat gods, if there is something that I haven't thought about to be able to reach my goals, and please have that come to me in the form of Krystal or James or Allison or somebody at my event come to me and say, hey, we love what you're doing, and let's all make it happen together.
All right. Being
Yeah.
sent up to the retreat
Thank you.
gods. Thank you for being
Thank
here,
you.
Zaina. Thank you so
Of course.
much.
Absolutely. Thank you.